Hey guys, welcome back for another one. Since I'm talking to you from the editing bay today, I just want to take a quick second to thank you for stopping by. And if you guys have been paying any attention to my channel at all, you're going to see that I've got almost twice as many videos as subscribers now. So if you like what I've been doing and you like hanging out with me in the shop, subscribe, come back, check it out, drop a comment below. Let me know. That's half the fun of doing this stuff is kind of reaching out to people and having those conversations and kind of teaching and learning experiences on both ends. With that said, keep in mind I am still very new and I am still learning quite a lot about making videos, and as such, the one you're about to see is very disjointed in some ways. And the reason for that is because the Blazer, through this series of videos you're kind of in the middle of right now, was in my shop for like 2 months. And as I was going through it and finding more and different things wrong, the subject matter all started to kind of bleed together. I was doing fuel lines at the same time as doing brake lines, as the same time as rebuilding the drum brakes. And when I sat down to start trying to edit these videos, which I admit I've been kind of dreading because I knew they would be disjointed, it was really too much to take in and make any sense of. My goal, particularly with this series, is to hopefully leave a reasonable set of blueprints for somebody else that might want to do brake and fuel lines on their Blazer, because the stuff that's out there right now is really not great, or at least the stuff I've found is not very great. Not to say my stuff's awesome, but I think it's probably better. And by the time I'm done, I hope to leave a good example out there that somebody else could potentially follow. So anyway, this one's going to be a little disjointed. Hopefully the next two won't be quite so bad, and since this is Max of the present speaking about things Max of 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, actually did, I kind of have had more forethought about how I'm going to film things and edit them as I'm going, to make them a little more congruent and easier to digest and easier to understand. So just bear with me for a little bit here, and we'll get through maybe a couple bumps in the road and get back to, or start doing, maybe a little more concise format. Anyway, thanks again for stopping by, guys. Let's get into it. Okay, so for the second time, I think I'm going to send the No Pro on an exploratory mission, because I think that we got a clip in there that is like impossible to get out. Yeah, I think I can see more through the viewfinder than I can in reality. I think where that screwdriver's stuffed through is actually a C-clip I got to pop off, and I have absolutely no idea how that's going to happen. So I'll keep you posted. Alright, so that was a minor disaster. The only way I could get that taken care of was to come in through this hole in the frame that I stuffed the No Pro through before with a long screwdriver, L long screwdriver. That's probably an 18-incher with the handle and everything, and just wail at it with the old Harbor Freight dead blow. Get it moving, work it around a little bit. Really did not get too far with that, and had to break out the farmer's best friend, or the farmer's secret, or what I'll call the grandpa's penetrating oil that grandpa didn't know about, so he never told me, and I had to learn the hard way. 50/50 ATF and acetone mix is the bomb. I love this stuff. Works way better than anything you can buy commercially in pennies. This sprayer is also the bomb. I'll probably maybe review that independently. I've had this for about 3 years and it's been a champ, so it's well worth the Hall of Fame. But anyway, yeah, 50/50 acetone ATF is the way to roll. Got that guy punched out of there, that clip punched off, and then had to take the screwdriver and whack the other side of it to get that hard line out of the hole. And I'm probably just going to get in there with a pair of tin snips or something and cut the line off, right there, because we're not going to reuse this line at all. That's the new one I'm going to make up. But anyway, yeah, minor disaster. There's L rusty clip down on the floor by that tiny screwdriver, just rusted solid on there. I'm just hoping I can reuse that clip because I don't have another one. Anyway, tragedy averted. I'm wondering if that's actually the intended purpose of this hole is to try and bang that clip out, but I kind of doubt it, but I don't know why else. Anyway, gentlemen, victory is ours. Yes. Oh, wow. Oh, geez. Looks like victory may be ours in a couple by accident. Oops. Anyway, may end up with some yellow pinstriping by the time it's over. Anyhow, here we go. Got her in, all done up. Routing is, of course, not factory, but nothing rubs. I'll give you the view. Nothing rubs, everything's tight. That guy's tight. Got clearance to everything on the axle. That's pretty close. In fact, a minute ago I thought that was fine. Maybe it's not. Yeah, it's fine. Yep. See through there? Yep. Should be good. Soft lines connected to the frame through the peep show. Seeing presents before Christmas, but yeah, clip went right back on. No sweat. There's a fitting in there, just it's a placeholder. But yeah, hilariously, I said, oh yeah, I'll just cut that line with some tin snips or something. Yeah, right. Just fell apart and came out with it, which is fine. One thing I have noticed is since I've had my head stuffed in here for a while, so I can keep smelling gas. So these evap lines are, they look awful. We already knew they're probably not very good, but I may actually have to do something about them because I really don't want to have, drive a bomb. But not going to do anything about them right now. This thing needs to go on a test drive before we're worrying about anything. So next item up for bids is to yank that old brake line out of there. Should be pretty compliant because it's already unclipped the whole way down the frame. Yep. Just need to go disconnect it at the firewall, which might be its own challenge, and take it from there. Oh, well. I mean, accident or not, it looks like we just murdered the ever-living crap out of soft lines and rear brakes. So maybe I'll just leave this way for the rest of the time I own it and just, have it bleed down the side of it. Anyhow. Okay, guys. Before I get real carried away with this, I'll show you what I ended up doing here. First thing I did is I decided to leave the front wheels on this thing and not jack up the front. I just prefer not to jack up both ends if I don't have to. It's just safer generally if you don't. So all I did was just crank this wheel with the back still jacked up, and before I get back under it, I'll straighten these wheels out too. And then I was able to pop that wire harness out. Of course, now you can't see. I was able to pop the wire harness out, that one right there, off the frame. And of course, when I did that, it broke its little tabby connection, so I may have to, look for another tab zip tie, because I really don't want the wire harness flopping around in the wheel well. But anyway, this all gives me pretty good access to that union right there. So I just took a bungee cord and ran it around and stuck the other end of it in the rim, just to keep that out of my way. And was able to get on this side with a 9/16 flare nut wrench or a line wrench. And then that guy, the union, I have a feeling is supposed to be 9/16 as well, but my 9/16 is really, really floppy on it. And I don't have two 9/16 line wrenches anyway, which is, what you really should use on that union. So I ended up using a 14 millimeter on the union and a 9/16 on that flare nut. And then unbelievably, I admit though, it's been sitting here for about 2 weeks waiting for me to get back to it. The magic elixir Grandpa never told me about worked just fine. That thing just cracked right loose. So good deal. We're real happy that it did that. So anyway, now I'm just unthreading it. It doesn't appear that I even need to hold the union anymore. The flare nut is seized on the line, but I don't care. So it's just wadding the line up under the truck right now, which whatever. But anyway, just wanted to show you how I ended up doing that because it's kind of a bear. I'm just hoping through the process of disturbing all this that I haven't caused the line to leak further forward. And if I did, that's more or less okay. These lines aren't that hard to replace from here up, but I'm basically just done working on this truck right now. I just want to get it out of here and want to test drive it, so I don't want to mess with all that right now if I don't have to. Okay, so I ended up just cutting the line off because it was just getting annoying to try and, wrap this much line. That's the part that was broken off. It's just getting annoying trying to wrap that around under the truck, and eventually got loose enough that it was just, you turn it and it'd spring back. So I just cut it off, and to do that, it was a massive misuse of tools. These are cable cutters. They're intended to be used with or for cutting like large soft cable, like copper, aluminum cable, 4 gauge or bigger, I'd say. But went through that crappy brake line like butter, and tool's a tool, got the job done. And also, whenever you're doing anything like this, you want to take your new fitting before you make your new lines and make sure it's actually the right thread. So I've already threaded this into the union, it's fine. That's a 7/16, I think 24. What's interesting about these is you'll see the new one actually got quite a bit smaller head on it, and I'm not really sure why. So I don't know, but anyway, it seems to be the right size for the truck, and I'm happy it's off. So that was the last hurdle to be able to take the rest of the fuel lines off. I can now pull the rest of the destroyed brake line out of the truck and start disconnecting the fuel lines and pull them out, because the brake line's the first thing on the frame, and then it's fuel lines from there on back. So what I want to do is, work from outside to in, and then start putting new ones on inside to out. So I'm not having to reach over stuff to get to other stuff. So now we just have to start disconnecting those guys and start pulling them out of there. At the front of the truck and everywhere else, just get them out of our way, and then hopefully we don't get messed up and try and put the wrong lines back in the right places, or wrong lines in the wrong places, whatever. Anyway, that's what we're doing. Well, more bad news. To the surprise of no one, as soon as I started touching the fuel lines on this thing to try and get the one that I could see spraying fuel out, the primary supply line, the big 3/8 one, immediately got wet. You can see there's gas on the tire down here. So I'm going to have to figure out how to replace that, which looks like it is a nightmare. If I have to drop the gas tank out of this thing, I'm going to be really unhappy. I'll have to look into it some. I'm starting to understand why I've seen like a few message forum posts and stuff about these trucks from like 10 years ago, where guys are jacking the bodies up to do this job. It is just a disaster. Anyway, I will probably have to try to stuff the No Pro up there so you guys can see what's going on, and I might try and stuff it in for some exploration back in this corner. So it looks like that's where that big line goes. Making 3/8 supply line isn't anything I've done before. That's pretty freaking big. I do have the tools to do it, but I don't really want to do it. So what I might do is just kind of try and pry this corner of the fender out so I can see what's going on and get a better idea of what I've got in front of me. But boy, I hope this is a good running driving truck when I'm done. This is going to be a lot of work before I can even test drive something. You know what I mean? And I think I've seen that supply line in stainless for sale for like $100 too. So, maybe just buy one. My biggest concern is actually installing it, not so much, buying it or making it. As it's the furthest one inboard, so it's the one you have the worst access to. So anyway, there's the update. I'll grab the No Pro and jam it up in the frame rail, and so you guys can get a look at what's going on in there. 2 brake lines. This one, I think I kind of gave myself a problem with. Right there. Let's see if it'll focus. I kind of pinched that off a little bit, prying it away from that axle hanger U-bolt, and tried to straighten it out a little with some vice grips, and it kind of marred up the outside of it, and we're going to see what happens. At this point, a redo is a redo, and I'm not trying to drive this thing straight away. I mean daily drive. So if this is good enough to get it down the road a couple miles and see how the truck's going to do, then that's fine. So, like I said, if I have to redo it now or redo it later, it's still the same amount of time. But anyway, I got marginal hopes that it'll be okay. And we're looking pretty good otherwise. Clears everything nicely and ready to rock. So, alright, end of day ramblings. I'm thinking this list is going to end up getting erased because we've got bigger problems now. Anyway, so the primary fuel line leak is a bad problem. That is a particularly bad problem because I can't drive this thing even out of the garage right now. And dropping the fuel tank or cutting the floor up or whatever is a little more than I bargained for right now. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. The only thing I know for sure is I put it on the battery charger. This thing died like the week after Christmas. It's been run, like including the drive here, like 20 minutes, and it's been started a bunch of times, stuff like that. And the battery is good. That's one of the few good things about this truck right now. One fun thing I forgot to tell you guys is I had a chat with the previous owner again this week. If you've been following along, you can't see much there. If you've been following along, we're co-workers, so, bump into each other. And one of the first things I do when I pull a car into the shop is roll the driver's window down so I can't lock the keys in it. And did this a couple weeks ago and haven't talked to the dude since then. And he mentioned something about, hey, the driver's side window, if you roll it down all the way, it's hard to get it back up. You have to, help it come back up. And I found some some Dorman Help window track rollers that were used in the glove box. So I thought, okay, somebody's been in here and has replaced those. I don't know if that was him or the previous owner before him or a repair shop or what, but the window went down really slow and I thought, well, that's probably just low battery. No. So my guess is this window regulator and probably power motor are both destroyed. Of course, it's the only window you care about, the driver's window. That's the only one you really need to work. So that's another thing to worry about when this thing goes back outside. Looks like, I don't know if this is normal. I don't remember my other S10s doing this, so I don't know why Blazers would. Looks like it didn't actually pull the window all the way down, so I might be able to grab that and help it come up. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. The land of confusion. All our best laid plans destroyed. So stay tuned. Oh, and thanks for watching.